Well, we are joined by the offensive coordinator now, Tim Lester. And Tim, it's a conversation I don't think we were planning on having again this year. But first off, your thoughts just seeing Terrell go down with another season-ending injury.
Well, you feel terrible for the kid. He's worked hard to get back. And, everyone asks me, how does that affect football? It has nothing to do with football at this point. It's just trying to, support him. It's hard for a kid that's worked that hard and gotten almost 2 seasons taken away from him, So you just try to, be a mentor, be a friend to him, and just keep his spirits up. He's been great, every time I've talked to him, and had a long talk with him yesterday. And, he's going to help out. He wants to win. Different role than I think he expected, but it's just so unfortunate. You feel bad for him.
Last year it was game 5. This year it's literally 7 plays into the offensive portion of the season. How does that change things in that there is more time, I guess, earlier in the season to get ready now for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. Obviously, I know when we went without him for the first game last year, it was Florida State. So that was obviously quite a challenge, So it's a little different in that regard. But still, we're going to walk into our first ACC game, with a true freshman quarterback, So it's definitely a challenge, and it's one that I know we have enough upperclassmen in the huddle that they'll help the young guy out.
All right, so let's now meet Eric Dungey. Here's a guy maybe 2.5 weeks ago it started becoming apparent he might actually be the backup quarterback. First off, how'd you find him? He comes your way out of Oregon. How did you first sort of get in touch with him and realize he was a guy you wanted to go after?
Well, we were late in the process of realizing we wanted to take a quarterback, so we had to open up our normal recruiting areas, and I pretty much searched the entire country. I got online and watched. I can't even tell you how many I watched, and he jumped out at me as a guy that was smart, had a ton of offers, but all the mid-majors, and there's like Nevada, Colorado State, kind of the Mountain West. None of the Pac-12 had jumped on board yet, So, started a conversation with him and just continued to watch him develop. He was a little bit raw as a junior, but as far as having athleticism, brains, toughness, he had everything, And then you watch his senior film, and it's a no-brainer when you see him play his senior year. So, we're fortunate he came here. He did a good job all at camp. He's just a competitor. And has a great moxie to him in the huddle. He's very calm, and he's just learning. Learning defenses is probably the biggest thing that every freshman has to deal with. But I feel like he has a good grasp of what we're doing, and he has a lot of tools to work with out there.
A little different than AJ last year. AJ had spring ball to sort of get himself in it, and Eric did not. He was a guy that arrived in the summer. When do you feel in camp you noticed, wow, this kid is getting it maybe faster than we thought he might at this point of the season?
Yeah, with freshmen, you give them a rep here and there. You give them 2 reps here, and just you can almost expect them to make mistakes. And he made one good play and then another good play. So you give him a couple more reps, and you never start by giving them 10 or 20 in a practice. You give him 5, and then we gave him 6, and then we gave him 8, and he continued to make plays, sometimes with his feet. We do a lot of young freshman on freshman stuff in camp, so he got to exclusively take all those reps and did a great job. So he just, as I kept putting more on his plate, I was happily surprised with how he reacted. So we started giving him more and more reps, and he kept taking it in. And he missed a couple reads on Saturday. He had a couple guys open that he missed just because he hesitated. But he was smart enough to take off running and slide, and he's got a knack for not putting the ball in harm's way. So that'll bode well moving forward.
It sounds like he is confident with the playbook and the plays that you want to run. But how confident are you in his confidence in the playbook right now? Is his confidence accurate in that at this point of the year?
Yeah, I mean, he understands it. We're lucky. I mean, he's been in meeting, and he did that before, but even more now, and asking a lot of questions and getting more reps in practice. And so it's been fun to watch him develop. And he's got a long way to go, but he's getting more and more confidence, and he's just a guy. He's 100% anal. He gets so upset when he doesn't do something right, and that's most of the really, really good ones I've been around are that way, where they're harder on themselves than I could ever be on them. So when I have to get on him, he's normally already thought about what he needs to do better. So it really shows, how fast he's picked. He makes a mistake one day and it doesn't happen the next day, So that's he's going to keep making mistakes. I just got to continue to try to put him in good situations and let him use his athleticism when things break down.
One last thought on your freshman quarterback before we get to the rest of the offense, which is kind of important around him. Do you have to limit anything going forward as far as what you want to do, or change anything just style-wise from what he does well and what Terrell did well?
You know, a little bit, not a ton though, not a ton. I want to see how much he can handle. You know, I don't want to limit him too much. I never want to hold the whole offense back because of him. He hasn't really shown that he can't do a bunch of things. You know, he made 2 mistakes on Saturday. 2 of them were the same coverage. And one was just hesitated on one ball. So, and we've run those same plays this week, and he's got them every time. So I just got to continue to load his plate, watch the practice film during the week, and try to limit. I just don't want to put him in bad situations. But that's the same for Terrell when he was in there. I don't want to put him in a 3rd and 20 and try to get him to read some complex nickel coverage, and as opposed to just, you know, throwing a short pass or running a draw and trying to keep, you know, try to run the ball and keep in good situations so he doesn't have so much pressure on him.
Freshman or senior, it helps when the offensive line is both healthy and playing well, which we certainly saw on Friday night. How much did that just add in what you're able to do running the ball? And then Jordan Frederick's really got it going behind that group.
Yeah, I mean, up front they did a great job. I mean, and the twos came in and struggled their first drive, and then they played well. And the biggest thing is, you know, just trying to own that line of scrimmage. And early on, you know, it's always hard early on because everyone's fresh. And then as we hopefully can wear them down, you know, really second, third, fourth quarter is really where you see the push of the offensive line starting taking over a game. And so it was good. It was good when you have young quarterbacks and inexperienced quarterbacks just to rely on the run game a little bit, play action, let them take some shots downfield. And that's what we tried to do in the game. And towards the end, it was just let's work on the running game, you know. And the guys loved it. And I told them we're not throwing it. We're going to keep running it every down. And they were inspired by that, and they just kept trying to grind it out.
Lastly, ACC Opener here in Week 2 against Wake Forest. Go figure it was last year. A.J. Long made his first start against Wake and won, becoming the first true freshman to win his debut, and now Eric has the same opportunity. What's his challenge here now that his first start is a league game here this week?
You know, it's an ACC game. It's an extremely challenging opponent. They're extremely good on defense. You know, they return everybody. They lose one corner that got drafted pretty high, so I'm happy he's gone. But everyone else returns. You know, from the beginning of last year to the end of last year, they got better. Watched them play Clemson late in the year, and they were a totally different team than we played. And they just seem to keep getting better and better and better. So when you got, I want to say, like 19 of 22 starters back, it's going to be a challenge, you know, to have that much experience. We have a lot of experience, just not at the quarterback position, and maybe not running back if Jordan's in there. But, you know, those guys are it's going to be a challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing what our guys up front can do against a good front and against good DBs and good safeties. And they're not going to give us anything easy. We're going to have to earn every yard we get.
All right, Tim, good luck this week.
Thank you.